last section of this first module, getting us set up for the rest of it, is learning how to utilize maximum effort and constantly adjusting our approach. Basically, the process to doing anything is that first step is taking action. It's like we got to choose, we got to make a decision, and then take that action. Okay, so that's the second one is taking action. So the first step is always, you got to make the decision first to do the thing. And then the next step is taking that action, choosing to do that action. And then the next step is to give something back. And what that's going to do is that's going to make you feel meaningful. You took an action, you learned something, and then you give something back. The next step is put in more effort. You took action. Yes, I did something. I took that first step. Now I'm putting in more effort to do the thing that I'm doing to make that successful. And guess what? I learned a little more. And the next step is I give a little more. On each step that we learn something, we give a little bit. Maybe you make a video, maybe you go help somebody else, but you just give a little bit. And that give is increasing your gratitude toward the thing that you're doing and the appreciation for the effort and the action that you're putting forth into the thing. And then what happens at this step, after you give, after making that effort, is now you're building momentum. And momentum is the key in doing anything. It's just like in a game, or it's just like, rolling a ball down the hill. It's just like anything else, once you get momentum, it's hard to stop. It's hard to quit. It's hard to fail once that momentum gets going. So you make the decision, you take that action, you give, you put in, you shift if something happens, you learn something else, then you give, then you get that momentum, and then you give some more. And now you're getting the point of it. This giving and this gratitude for what you're learning. And that's giving you meaning in your life, because whether you're 10, my kids are amazing anyway, I'll talk about them later. Whether you're 10 or 80, you've got something to give. And my kids do these videos, they call the Real Food Dudes, and they share nutrition and health tips to kids their age. And they're giving back, and they feel good about it. Yes, we're teaching them ultimately to begin with that nutrition and movement, but then they're going back and they're teaching other kids, because first of all, kids don't like learning from old people, and anybody over like 15 is old. 15 might actually be cool, maybe 20s. Maybe 20s, they seem pretty old. And so me going in there on a video, they're not going to listen to me. Those 12-year-old kids aren't going to listen to what I say, but they listen to my kids. Because my kids, I think they're pretty cool. They look cool. They do sports, and they're smart. They get good grades, and other kids listen to them. It's really pretty cool. So you make the decision, take that action, you give something back. You shift if things aren't working, put more effort into it, and give something back. You get that momentum going, and you can feel the momentum. You can feel it. You can feel people coming on. They want to be a part of your thing. It's just like going through a football season if you do American sports. It's like a football season. Everybody starts out right here. They have their favorite teams. But then as it gets going, some teams build more momentum, and you'll see that reflect in the stands. You'll see the people building the strong teams, and the stands will be full. And the weak teams, they'll be not so full. And so those strong teams, when they know they're doing something right, they're not only just winning games and being successful, but also filling the stands and getting this audience. And that gives them the opportunity to give back to that audience, that entertainment, that value that they're providing. And that's the same thing that you do. You build that momentum. Don't just keep it to yourself. You share that. And today we can do that in so many different ways, whether it's through videos or through civic organizations or whatever you do in your community. You just give it to the world. And just give that little bit. It'll make you feel so good, make you feel so much more meaningful in the thing that you're doing. And then guess what? At that point, if you give, then you have success. You've reached that pinnacle. You're at the top right there. This is the goal that you wanted to achieve, and then you achieved it. And you learned all through that process, and you got to that goal, and then you give it back again. And then you just give it back, and you teach somebody else. You teach somebody else how to start from here. I know I started out here to begin with, but let's say we start from here. Teach them how to make that decision. Teach them how to give it back. Teach them how to put in the effort. Teach them how to shift when things get hard. Teach them how to continue to give as they learn. Then teach them what momentum, let them feel that. And then teach them to give again, and then they reach their goals. And what's going to happen, what you may have put together through this first series of videos is this give is so important because people are going to recognize that and they'll be like, hey, this Mike just gave me this. So I'm going to help him get to this level. And hey, Mike just gave me another little bit of stuff. He learned something. He got a little bit of another step of success, and he gave that to me. And I'm going to help him get up here. Now we've got momentum. We're going together. He's given some more. And not only just one person jumped on, maybe there's 10 now, maybe there's 15. Maybe you've got a whole crew. Maybe you're building an Instagram profile. Now you've got 1,000 people. Maybe up here you're almost at success. You're almost there, but you've been following on. Now you've got 500,000 people watching you. 500,000 people supporting you, buying you products and your services. But you still give back to whatever they're. And that's the purpose of some of these videos. This is me giving back because I've learned all this stuff from all these great people, and I'm giving this back in whatever ways that I can. And then you reach that goal. You reach that pinnacle, that particular thing, and you give it back. You give it back in whatever ways you can. And then you start again on the next one. And you go through that same process again. You'll be amazed. You'll be so amazed at what you can do, but more importantly, what you can give and how you feel from that. So life has meaning when you give. If you haven't already determined that, then try it. Try it with something you know now. Go out and give it. Go out and give it to somebody. And just share that there's great things. Something else you need to think about when we're talking about putting maximum effort into the thing that you want to do, whether it's a business or a project or whatever it is you want to do. When you're thinking about that effort, and you're gonna have the questions. If you're anything like me or anybody else in the world, you're gonna say, okay, is this worth my time? That's gonna be one of your main excuses. Well, you're going to say a bunch of things, and you're going to try to talk yourself out of it because it's going to be hard. It's going to take a lot of effort. These videos right here, we'll do 20, 30 hours of videos. Do I think it's going to be successful right now? I don't know. That's sort of not part of it. But I could easily say, I'm just not going to do that. That's really hard. Putting a lot of effort. I could talk myself into saying, nobody's going to buy it. Nobody's going to listen to it. Nobody's going to get anything out of it. Or I can just do it anyway. Because it's about the action and not the outcome. If I placed more importance on the outcome than I do on the action, then I wouldn't do anything that's worthwhile. I would always say, that's going to be too hard. It's going to be too much effort. And I just wouldn't do it. What you have to do is you have to be more fearful of not trying than failing. You have to be. Because failing, you're going to do that anyway. You've probably already done it. If you've been alive more than 10 years, you failed at something. And yes, it sucks. But does it suck more than not trying? I don't think so. I've not tried stuff that I wanted to do, and that sucks. And I've failed at stuff that I wanted to do, and that's not as bad. At least I did it. So that's the part. Gosh, I got so many things, and I put several of them in the book recently. I mean, just writing a book. You could write a book and nobody buy it. Think that's a failure, but you succeeded at the thing that you wanted to do. Maybe you just sucked at the marketing. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe you couldn't get a following. Maybe whatever reason, the book didn't sell, but you were still successful in writing that book. Just like the book that I got. I don't know if anybody's going to buy my book. It's not out yet, according to this. No, at this recording, but I wrote it, and I think I would be more disappointed in not writing it because I have something to say. And have a unique way to say it. Somebody, if there's just one person besides my mama that bought the book, then and I help them in some way, and they're the only person in the group, and I help them some way to achieve some sort of goal, then I'm happy with that. Now, did it have the result that I was looking for? No, but that's okay. That's okay because the end result was not the reason why I did it. The reason why I did it is to give back. The reason why I did it is because I have something to say. The reason why I did it is because the way I put marketing and business development together is in a unique way that really could benefit a lot of people out there. And if I suck at marketing it and nobody buys it, then that's fine. I'll figure that part out because I know the value that I'm giving is going to be very important. And so you need to have that confidence in yourself, but more importantly, you need to make sure that fear that you have of not doing the thing is so much greater than failing at doing the thing. There's always consequences. There's always consequences to acting. There's always consequences to not acting. So not doing that thing needs to be more painful than doing it and failing it. And the last part, I know you've heard there's tons of stuff out there. You just need to be thankful for the process. Be thankful for the people that help you get here to the point where you are. Be thankful for the people that give you their time and their effort and their energy to help you succeed at that level. Be thankful when you achieve that goal for everybody and everything and all the resources that helped you get, to that point. And then you'll have some meaning in your life that you may not have before, because now you've given back and now you're thankful for the things that you have. And if you can do those two things, then you're definitely on your way to getting the attitude to start any project, continuing your project, and achieve your goals. I'll see you in module 2, and we'll learn how to get that attitude.